find each other's arms, for your love, all you are. I'd start a riot. I'd start a riot.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Morning Coffee. If you are a listener from the United States of America, happy Thanksgiving. To everybody else, happy Thursday. I hope that your weeks are going well and you guys are still continuing to get things out of this Morning Coffee message. Tomorrow, we are officially launching the Clarity Academy, which I've been talking about all week. 12-week program to help you figure out who you are, what you really want out of your life. And also, I wanted to mention, if you guys have morning coffee topics that you'd like me to take a stab at, like maybe you just want sort of my spin on situations that maybe you've been dealing with, feel free to hit me up about those too. I kind of like crafting this kind of content. I have a lens at how I sort of look at everything. And a lot of these are from my book and from the Clarity Academy course material that I talk about. But then this same worldview can certainly be applied to many different subjects. If you guys have other things that you'd like me to address, hit me up and let me know about it. And then, if I think I can add value to it, I definitely will. And if I can't, I'll straight up tell you, because I don't want to make shit up here. All right, so today, obviously, it's Thanksgiving. And so we have to talk about the role that gratitude plays in our lives. And I know I've done an episode on gratitude before. And so some of these thoughts are going to be the same. But I was looking into a lot of different things. Like, what is it about gratitude that makes it so important? Because in today's world of professional development, the idea of gratitude in itself is sort of really cliche, right? It just keeps everyone's like, I've got that attitude of gratitude. And they just put that out there like that means anything. And of course, if you aren't intimately familiar with what it means to show gratitude towards something, it can just seem like another buzzword, just another thing that people are saying. And I think a lot of people that say stuff like that and repost it actually don't have that attitude. And so I think we should address a little bit of that. But what's really important is that gratitude is such a strong emotion. See, there are certain emotions that you can allow to live below the surface in your life for a really long time, and they will tug at you a little bit, but they don't always take up all of your being. So let's say anxiety, for example, can live below the surface for a real long time. Now, when it finally does hit you, anxiety feels like you are filling a drinking cup up with a fire hose and it just comes rushing from the bottom and out over the top, right? But you can live with a certain level of anxiety for a very, very long time until it sort of comes to a head point. Well, then there are other emotions like anger and gratitude, which really are really strong emotions, and they take up your entire being. I'm not sure if I've already used this analogy on here on the show before, but somebody explained anger to me one time, and it was like, when you walk around angry, it's like you slam your foot on the gas and the brake at the exact same time. And so there's all of that inertia, and it goes nowhere, right? It's all of this energy with nowhere to go. Well, gratitude is almost the exact polar opposite of anger, in that it does take up a lot of your well-being, a lot of your emotional bandwidth, but it's opposite in that it's actually a productive emotion. And what makes it productive is you can actually, when you show gratitude towards something, toward everything, let's say, in your life, there are second and third order effects that take place, right? Because nothing exists in silos. So when you have anger in your place, what are the second and third order effects? Well, you're definitely more ineffective in the world. That's certainly the case. Like, anger is it's a blinding emotion. So it makes it hard to channel it to do anything good with. And so gratitude's actually the opposite in that it really does, it takes up the same emotional or mental bandwidth, except the second and third order effects are actually really positive. So I was looking at all of these different studies, and most of the studies used a 5-minute-a-day gratitude journal to basically like whether the person being studied actually had a gratitude journal or didn't, and that's sort of how they correlated whether the person was actually getting anything from that gratitude practice or not, which makes sense. You need some sort of objective way. But one of the major benefits of gratitude is that people were able to actually step off of that hedonic treadmill. You guys know what I mean when I talk about hedonic adaptation. I talk about it all the time on the show, but this idea that as you continue to gain more, your relative level of happiness actually drops back to where it was before you achieved or did that thing, right? And that's why we always need more to be the same level of happiness. And it doesn't actually work. We can't fill our cup up with more because of hedonic adaptation. Wildly enough, gratitude is one of the things that is correlated with positive emotion. So it actually does make you happier. It's not like hedonic adaptation where you get the dopamine hit but then you fall back down. Gratitude actually does make us markedly happier as we get into the practice. There were another 2 studies that showed that gratitude actually makes people like us more. It makes us more likable. It makes us be able to interact in the world better. And if you think about it in the polar opposite, if we think about anger, when we are angry and we're acting in the world, it shuts people out, right? Because you're putting that energy out to the people around you. And so people are like, you get picked up. People pick that up really fast. They're like, that person's a dick, and they stay away, even if it's subconscious, right? Like angry people, it's really hard for angry people to keep friends. So interestingly enough, gratitude, just by proxy, one of the second, third order effects of it is that it makes people actually like us. They actually measured in the study that I read was social capital, and people that had this gratitude, that had a gratitude practice, had 17.5% more social capital, as in that is the percentage of people that like to be around them more. And I understand that these are complicated empirical data studies. So a lot of this is just people saying kind of their experience. And as we know, the human mind's not super reliable. But just the fact that people are showing an increase in any kind of life aspect from gratitude means that it's something that we should probably consider implementing in our own lives. I also found a study that showed gratitude made us healthier. I found another study that showed that it boosts our career. So here's an interesting thing, like happy people tend to do better work, as in more high quality work. People think that this is a really weird thing that we do in our society. We think that we have to do something and then that thing is going to make us happy. What's really interesting is if we're already happy, when we go do that thing, we're going to do it better. Now, what is the precursor to happiness? What is the way we know to increase more happiness? It's gratitude. Interestingly enough, gratitude, these practices had to be implemented in most of the studies, it was 60 to 90 days. So it's not like tomorrow morning I wake up, I say everything that I'm thankful for, and then that day I'm happier. And that's, I think, what we do on Thanksgiving sometimes. We sit around and we talk about the things we're happy for, we post about it on social media, and then our life doesn't really change, right? And why are we even doing something if it's not going to positively, I guess there's never a time where gratitude is wasted, but in my opinion, these are things that take consistency over time. Gratitude is legitimately a practice that is going to make you happier. I also saw that it strengthened our emotions, so it made us more resilient in the world, helped develop our own personality. I saw another study where showed that gratitude actually showed a 15% increase in optimism, which of course makes sense, right? Because you are happier. It reduces materialism. This is one of the really hard things that we have trouble with in this world, right? Because we have all of these material metrics for what a successful life should look like, and we continue to shove them into our lives, and then we look around and we say, is this really it? Right? And I'm going to actually do a whole show on that at some point, but it's not really it. It's not it at all. The fact is that we have to be grateful for what we have, because shoving more into our lives is never a recipe for success. And then lastly, the things that I saw was that gratitude actually increased our self-esteem and made us less self-centered, which of course makes sense as well. And some of these things are obvious and some of them not so much, but I think the general theme is that it's such a powerful emotion because it anchors you, right? It anchors your heart in that emotion, and then there's all of these byproducts. When you're angry, it anchors your heart, and there's not a lot of room in there for anything else. Gratitude is the exact same way. When you're thankful, you don't have the emotional bandwidth as a human being to also be thankful and pissed, right? Or thankful and sad. Like, gratitude is just one of those things. It takes up all of our being, and then it sort of permeates throughout us, and it actually makes us more effective in the world. I know a lot of this is empirical data, and I know that causation and correlation are two things that we're probably not controlled for. But just the fact that people are saying that they're happier from gratitude, it's something I've seen in my own life. And so it's definitely something I think that's worth pursuing. So I hope you guys have a great turkey day. I hope you guys eat tons of food, tons of gains. I'll talk to you tomorrow on Morning Coffee.
Oh, hungry ghosts in the land of milk and honey. Oh, hungry ghosts in the land of milk and honey. There are people so damn poor, all they have is their money. There are people so damn poor, all they have is their money. Truth be told, the truth will be told, only hear it when we're listening. We'll unfold for young and old, 'cause in the end we're all just visiting. In the end we're only visiting. On this hedonic treadmill, building appetite with collections of those little things that shine. But camels will not fit through needle's eye. Your camels will not fit through the needle's eye. Truth be told, the truth will be told, only hear it when we're listening. We'll unfold for young and old, 'cause in the end we're all just visiting. On the day they lay your body down to bury, there will be no pockets on the pants you're wearing. And on that day you will see what it all is worth. So earthlings, don't keep your treasures here on earth. So earthlings, don't keep your treasures here on earth. No, earthlings, don't keep your treasures here on earth. Because in the end we're only visiting.